Bob, how much of an impact does having a close like Josh Hader have on you as a manager?
Yeah, it's pretty significant, really on both sides, right? So when he comes in a game, I've been on the other side of it before. It's not the greatest feeling in the world. So you look at his numbers this year, pretty indicative of how he's pitched for quite some time. Always working on things to get better. Had probably as good a slider as we've seen him have all year last night. So it's pretty comforting feeling to have.
In your experience, how much can that affect also a team, just knowing that they have a guy like that at the back end?
Yeah, well, our guys, their guys all the way around. So it's just kind of who he is. And when you're on the other side of it, you're like, let's make sure we're not behind by the time we get to that, because it's going to be pretty difficult.
Can it have an effect on your setup guys as well, not only in terms of their confidence that they have in seeing a guy do that, but also knowing what their slot is going to be?
Yeah, it allows you to, depending on the day, obviously, and who's available, it allows you to kind of work backwards. You know what the ninth is going to be, and therefore, you figure out kind of what the seventh and eighth is going to be. Our starters typically, when they're pitching well, go 6 innings, so it makes it a lot easier to figure out.
Michael Wacha, he's done great. I know you had high expectations for him coming over, but has he surpassed that in his recent outings?
Look, I've seen a lot of him in the past. When we signed him, I thought it was a coup, and what he's done for us this year is kind of who he is. So, less one start or 2 starts, he's probably as good as anybody in the National League. So, I think more than anything, it's the confidence that he gives the team when it's his day to pitch and when he toes the rubber. So it's been, I don't want to say I discount it, but it's been awfully good.
Now that you've had a chance to be around him on a daily basis also, is there anything particular that's impressed you the most about what he does?
His preparation, he's a pro, and he supports his teammates, and he's fit in beautifully with the starters, whether it's experience, he's got a lot to give as far as information and so forth. So I kind of knew that on the other side, but watching him prepare and how he prepares every day for his start, I think is pretty significant, and our guys kind of feed off him.
Bob, the last few weeks, the offense, as a whole, the numbers have been better. What have you liked as a whole the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think, we're hitting on different types of cylinders. We don't necessarily have to hit for power. We don't necessarily have to, we can manufacture runs. Our speed game's picked up some. Situational hitting's been better. And then when you mix in a homer like, the first inning yesterday, it makes you feel pretty good about where your offense is going to go. And you look at some of the numbers still, I think there's more in there, obviously. So it just seems like hopefully we're starting to peak a little bit more offensively.
Was it a conscious decision to up the running game, or was it just kind of situational?
I think it's situational for us. Now, when you're behind, it's tougher to potentially run into outs. When you're ahead, you can take a few more chances. But I think we're also finding out too that it can be a big part of our game.
Are you planning on staying on turn through the
We're going
weekend?
to pitch Weathers tomorrow, and we're going to pitch Darvish Friday night. He only threw 35, 40 pitches or whatever,
Gotcha.
and not getting too much into why. It's more about how we feel like we match up against both teams. So this is a really good team over here that we're playing. Has nothing to do with trying to put Darvish on the team that's in first place. It's more about how we think we match up.
Okay. So then what would that do for the rest of the rotation after that? Snell, and then figure it out from there? Would Musgrove go on turn?
As of right now, yeah.
Did you get a chance to catch any of that footage last night from Oakland and all the fans that turned up?
I did. You know what? It's a lot of people are finding out it's a very passionate fan base. So maybe for some different reasons this time, but I'm glad that they're playing well. I'm glad they won last night in front of a big crowd, and hopefully they come out a little bit more often, because I know that team and the coaching staff over there is digging pretty hard to play a lot better, and it seems like they have to this point. I think 7 in a row, so it's a much better feeling there now.